Hey, it's Bruce from TPC. I'm here today with Justin England. He is TPC's best Ned Flanders impersonator.
Idly dodly.
He is also one of our lead buyers and a former pro cyclist, so you are someone who has a lot of experience riding carbon wheels.
Absolutely. Spent plenty of my racing days on carbon wheels.
Yeah, and we all know if you are a road biker, a road cyclist, and you are looking for the best performance upgrade, well, it's tires. But right after tires, it is wheels.
Yep.
And why is that?
Carbon wheels are going to give you the best performance from a weight aspect, being lightweight, from a stiffness performance aspect, as well as being aerodynamic.
Yeah, and wheels make up your rotating weight on your bike, so they have a huge impact on your acceleration, how hard it is to pedal and turn over the wheels. And definitely because carbon is lighter than metal, you can make these nice deep arrow shapes that aren't much heavier than an alloy wheel.
You got it.
Yeah, but when it comes to carbon, not all wheels are made equal, and we have some high-end, super fancy wheels available. Definitely, if you have the money to spend, these are the best wheels on the market, and you've brought 3 of them for us to look at today. What do we have here?
Yep, we've got 3 major competitors here: Zipp, Reserve, and Enve. Zipp, of course, is ridden at the Pro Tour level by the Movistar team. Reserve is ridden by Wout van Aert and the Jumbo Visma team. And Enve is ridden by that guy, what's his name?
Tadej
Pogacar? Right, yeah.
I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, on the UAE Emirates team.
He's done a few things.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, so if you want maximum performance, these are probably the wheels that most riders who can afford it are gonna be looking at. And I say who can afford it because these high-end wheels, they are pretty pricey. They're all between $2,000 and $3,000. But they have a lot in common beyond that. They all are tubeless ready.
That's the standard these days.
Disc brake. They all have pretty wide internal rim widths, right?
Basically 25 mil across the board, a couple of small iterations there, but those wider internal rim widths allow you to run a wider tire at lower pressures. Gone are my racing days of riding 23 mil tires at 120 PSI.
Yeah, a lot of these are really optimized aerodynamically for tires in like the 27 to 28 millimeter range, which is pretty nice, I think.
For sure.
I like it. And the other great thing they all have in common is they have excellent warranties.
Lifetime across the board for all 3 of these brands. That's been a fantastic kind of evolution for the carbon wheel market over the last 5 years.
Yeah, which is great, especially if you're gonna pay this much for a wheel. If you do manage to break one, I'll be very impressed, but you're covered. So with these 3 models, they have, you know, a lot in common in terms of features. We've chosen 3 of our best-selling models that are all very similar depths also.
So every one of these manufacturers makes a narrower rim depth, more climbing specific, and deeper rims as well for more aerodynamic purposes. But what we have here is roughly the 40 mil rim depth, which is kind of the most versatile sweet spot for carbon wheels.
Yeah, should work for every rider, everywhere. And let's start, I guess, if we're gonna talk about how to decide which wheel you want, let's talk about the standout features for each wheel. And the first one we have here is the Zipp 303 Firecrest.
That's right. US made in Indianapolis. What immediately jumps out is the dimpling on the rim, this ABLC sawtooth technology. The dimpling's like a golf ball. It creates less drag actually than a smooth rim surface. Zipp also pairs that up with their ZR1 hub, so proprietary hub they manufacture themselves, kind of creating total system efficiency there. You also get a hookless rim, and these come at both a 40 mil rim depth for both the front and the rear.
Yeah, and these are also the cheapest of the 3. They're just over $2,000.
I don't know if I'd call it cheap.
Relative, it's all relative. But the next wheel we have to look at is the Reserve 4044. This is a little step up in price. So what are we getting with this wheel?
4044, so you're gonna get 2 different rim depths between the front and the rear. The front is only 40 mil in depth while the rear is 44. Giving you a little bit more security in the crosswinds. Your front wheel's not gonna get dragged as much. You're also going to get reinforced spoke holes. So where the spoke is entering the rim, that's obviously the point of most stress for a rim. Reserve actually puts an extra patch of carbon there to reinforce that area.
Yeah, really similar to what they do on their mountain bike wheels, actually.
You got it. You'll see a DT Swiss hub. This one, we've got a 240 hub. There's also a pricier version where you can get a DT 180 hub that comes with ceramic bearings.
A little bit lighter too, I believe.
Exactly.
And I think just looking at this, the big thing that jumps out to me is that it has a hooked rim also.
Right. So the hooked rim is maybe a little bit older technology. A lot of rims are shifting to hookless, but what the hooked rim gets you nowadays is a more compatibility with tires. There are some tires that only work with hookless rims, whereas with hooked rims, you can basically mount up anything.
Yeah, and I think there's some riders who just like to run higher pressures or like the idea of a hooked rim a little better. And then I think the last wheel I would consider our Halo option. Definitely for me, it's the Halo option. It's also
The Gucci option.
the most expensive option.
got it.
It is the Enve SES 3.4. SES, I believe, stands for Smart Enve System.
Yep. Again, you're going to get the mixed profile. So the front is a 39 mil rim depth. The rear is 43. They also, in fact, make separate rim profiles for the front and rear. Different performance for each of the front and rear that you're going to want. So Enve goes that far. You'll notice too, no spoke nipples, right?
Okay, yeah.
So that's going to create a more aerodynamic profile there at the rim spoke interface.
Yeah, they call these the internally molded spoke holes, right? So to true these, you go in through the rim there, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I think the other thing worth mentioning, and this definitely matters to me, is this wide hookless bead they use. Can you tell me what that is?
So there's a much wider area here on the rim surface. Basically, when you have an impact, hard impact on cattle guards, a rock, whatever, a pothole
yeah.
it might be, and you're gonna get the compression on the tire all the way down to the rim, having that wider surface decreases the chance that you're gonna get a pinch flat and
Puncture your tire.
Right.
Which, on the road, who knows how often that's gonna happen? Definitely I use it a lot on my mountain bike, gravel bike.
but it
But
can save you when it's there.
It can save you when you need it. And then these are also, I think, worth mentioning that they're US made.
Yep, in Ogden, Utah.
Yep. And they use Enve's own hub.
Yeah, Enve's own proprietary alloy hub that they make.
Great.
So we've run through the lineup here from Zipp, from Reserve, and from Enve. Bruce, you got $2 grand, $3 grand sitting in your pocket.
Oh.
Which wheel are you gonna choose?
Well, I think I'm a super vain person. I always have to have the hottest bike on the group ride. So it's definitely the Enves.
Get the bling factor.
Definitely it's the bling factor that does it for me. I also, I ride them on my mountain bike. I really do think that wide hookless bead works when I do a stupid line and smash into something. It has saved my butt.
Which can happen out on the road too.
They're all really good wheels. I got it. I gotta go Enve.
I hear you. Why don't you tell us in the comments which one you would prefer?
Yeah, let us know. Maybe it's Zipp, Reserve, Enve. Maybe it's none of them. Who knows? Let us know. And if you're interested in any of these wheels, they're all available at our website, www.tpc.bike. We have these and much, much more. So check it out. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you out on the road. Maybe I'll be on these wheels. See ya.
Bring that back.